So I'd just like to reiterate the very kind welcome from the respective fathers. So welcome everyone, and thank you for coming all this way. I know some of you have come a very long way to be here, and so thank you very much for that. And those who haven't come such a long way, cheers for coming anyway. I feel really honoured to be doing this, and also after the ceremony today, slightly nervous. So the ceremony was obviously lovely and very serene, and this speech may be a bit of a hand grenade. So apologies for that. As well as choosing such a fantastic place to have their special day, their timing is also rather significant. So 70 years ago this month there was another great congregation of Brits and Americans in France, although it took place on the beaches of Normandy. Okay, Jeremy and Marni have also chosen the summer solstice for their special day. I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that? Okay, so the summer solstice is a very important day in the pagan calendar. Now, paganism originated in rural Europe, and anyone not familiar with pagan rituals, come sunset there is going to be a frenzy of sacrificing. So I would like to take this opportunity to ask any virgins to make sure they are locked safely away before it gets dark. Okay, so for those of you who've known Jeremy and I for any significant length of time, you'll know that there's enough best man speech ammunition here to sink the Bismarck. No, is there anyone from Germany here? There's no one from Germany here, is there? No? Okay, good. I've known Jeremy for nearly 27 years, through time in Singapore, boarding school, university, travelling in Pakistan, and many other great adventures in jungles, mountains, deserts, oceans, and some drinking establishments. Through all of these, certain qualities have consistently shone through, regardless of the situation, regardless of the adversity, and regardless of how trashed we were. A fearless approach to difficult situations, an overwhelming desire to help those close to him, and a sense of humour that a very select few can appreciate. Actually, some of my most memorable moments in life have been shared with Jeremy, and I'd like to share one of my favourite ones with you. Okay, you'll like this. Okay. 1996, the Shangla Pass, North Pakistan. A 12-hour bus journey up the Karakoram Highway after a night of sampling local herbs and drinking some really nasty water. Okay, Jeremy announces that he needs to empty his guts sooner rather than later. As the bus bounced along the road, it wasn't long before that rather unique type of panic set in for Jeremy, and sooner rather than later turned into stop this bus before I shit myself. Anyway, the bus stopped, Jeremy piled out of the bus, wrestling with his jeans, and let loose in the middle of the road. He then got back onto the bus, literally glowing from relief. Big smile on his face. He sat back down, the bus headed off, all was well. A couple of hours later, the bus arrived at a police checkpoint, and as the only foreigners on the bus, we were ordered off to present our passports. Our passports were in a money belt worn by Jeremy. The last known location of this money belt was on the ground in the middle of the Karakoram Highway, right next to a steaming pile of... Anyway, I started freaking out, and as I turned around, I saw Jeremy still glowing in relief, still enjoying his moment. Fortunately, the story had a happy ending. Another bus that had been driving behind us saw Jeremy dealing with his emergency and picked up the money belt. And as I stood there freaking out, and Jeremy stood there still enjoying his moment, the other bus rolled up and the money belt was returned. It's this kind of cool detachment in a crisis that makes Jeremy who he is. There's being calm under pressure, and then there's being in a different dimension altogether. Well done. Now, one thing that makes today extra special is that people have travelled so far to be here. And it occurred to me that today was also about the coming together of people from two cultures that are so similar and so different. And while looking for inspirational quotes to put into this speech, I stumbled across the words of Winston Churchill, who said, "We're two great nations divided by a common language." And this instantly made me think of a trip I made to Minnesota many years ago when, whilst out checking out the bars in downtown Minneapolis, I asked someone where I could pick up a pack of fags. It wasn't long, or it wasn't until I arrived at the bar that he directed me to that I realised I should have explained that it was cigarettes that I was after and not a marauding gang of homosexuals. But despite the differences in the common language, Marni and Jeremy have found each other. Without falling out over the spelling of the word colour, the meaning of the word chip, and the definition of football. So, I'd like you to raise your glasses and take a big swig. That's British for gulp, by the way. Okay, by way of a toast to Jeremy and Marni. Jeremy and Marni, everyone. Cheers.